They planned an intervention, not a surprise party, not a roast. An actual sit down, we're worried about you style intervention. All because I said I wanted to eat apples. That was the moment I couldn't hold it in anymore. I started laughing. Hard. I pulled a piece of beef jerky out of my pocket and took a big bite, still grinning. You should have seen their faces. The confusion, the betrayal, the disbelief. It was like they'd just been told Santa Claus was real again, and he hated them. But maybe I should rewind. 3 weeks earlier, I had this idea. A prank. Harmless, I thought. Funny. I would pretend to become an appletarian, someone who eats only food derived from apples. Whole apples, diced apples, applesauce, apple pie filling, candy apples, with the chocolate shaved off, of course, and nothing but apple juice or cider to drink. I told my friends I'd found a new health trend online and was giving it a go. At first, they didn't believe me. They laughed. They thought I was trolling. And in a way, I was. But they didn't understand how committed I could be. Every time I was around them, whether at work, at lunch, during movie nights, or even casual hangouts, I made sure they never saw me eat anything besides apples. I'd casually sip apple juice during a game night, nibble apple slices on a video call, pass on the pizza, claiming it didn't grow on trees. They started watching me more closely, asking more questions. Some rolled their eyes, others seemed genuinely curious. But the longer I kept going, the more the concern started to settle in. It crept in subtly at first, through their tone, through the way they'd nudge apple facts into the conversation. Then came the articles, the links, the worried glances, the whispered, "Is he okay?" Conversations I was never supposed to hear. And it wasn't just the friends. My girlfriend started asking questions too. At first, she brushed it off. She laughed when I ordered only apples at brunch, but that laugh didn't last. On our next date, I took the prank further. We were at a nice restaurant. She was dressed up. The waiter came, asked for our orders, and I told him, dead serious, just apples, however the chef can prepare them. She stared at me. I could feel the tension tighten across the table, like fishing line pulled taut. She forced a smile and finished the meal in silence. That night, she told me I'd embarrassed her, that I was turning a dumb joke into a public spectacle. I brushed it off, told her to lighten up. The next day, she stopped replying to my texts, but I kept going. Because the prank was working. My friends were buying it, completely. And the more they worried, the funnier it became. I'd never felt more in control of a joke, never felt such pure, unshakable commitment to a bit. Then came the night that changed everything. They told me we were having a casual movie night at my buddy's apartment. I brought apple chips and a bottle of cider, playing the part to perfection. I walked in, ready to riff on a fake new apple smoothie I'd invented. But the room was silent. Everyone was seated. No popcorn, no Netflix. Just a few printed pamphlets on the coffee table. Ones with titles like The Truth About Fruit-Only Diets and Malnutrition, Signs to Watch For. I laughed at first, thought they were turning the prank back on me. Then I saw their faces. My best friend looked like he hadn't slept in days. One girl had red eyes like she'd been crying. Someone had even brought a nutritionist friend, a stranger, to talk me out of this extreme diet. They weren't joking. They were genuinely, deeply worried about me. That's when I cracked. The laugh bubbled up before I could stop it. I pulled the jerky from my pocket, like a magician revealing a secret, and chomped down. "I've been eating real food the whole time," I said. "This was just a prank. Got you." They didn't laugh. They didn't even smile. Instead, silence filled the room like cement. My best friend's jaw tensed. Another friend stood up and walked out without a word. My girlfriend, now ex, sent me a long text later that night. She told me it wasn't about apples. It wasn't even about embarrassment. It was about trust. About how she'd been genuinely scared I was slipping into some kind of disordered eating, and how I'd doubled down when she tried to reach me. How I'd made her feel like a fool for caring. And maybe she was right. Because somewhere along the line, it stopped being a joke. It started as a laugh, a harmless gag. But by week 2, it had become something else. A performance that required people to care in order for it to be funny. And when they did care, when they really truly showed up, I laughed at them. I told myself they were overreacting, that they'd see the humor eventually, that it was just a bit, that no one got hurt. But they did. They worried. They stressed. They invested real emotion, real time, real love into trying to help someone they thought was in trouble. And I turned their concern into a punchline. The aftermath was rough. The group chat was silent for days. A few friends texted me to say they needed space. My ex blocked me. I tried apologizing. I really did. But the damage was done. I told them I never meant to hurt anyone, that I just wanted to pull off the ultimate commitment joke, that I thought they'd be impressed by how far I took it. But they didn't care about the punchline. They cared that someone they loved looked like they were hurting. And when they reached out, I mocked that love. So, am I the asshole? Because I can tell you, it felt like a joke. It felt harmless. But in the end, it cost me people I loved. And maybe that's the only answer I really need. There's something powerful about commitment. To your art, your humor, your identity. But sometimes, we commit so hard to the story we're telling, we forget that the people watching aren't characters. They're not props. They're not an audience in our personal sitcom. They're human beings. And when they care, when they step in to help, that's not a setup for a punchline. That's a gift. This story isn't just about apples. It's about empathy, about learning when a joke stops being funny, about understanding that even the best punchlines can come at too high a cost. So tonight, ask yourself, are you listening when people worry about you? Are you honoring the love they're offering? Or are you just waiting to pull the rug out and say, gotcha? Because in the end, the difference between humor and harm isn't how funny the joke is. It's who's left laughing and who's left hurt. What would you have done? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to follow for more true stories from the edge of the everyday. This is AITA Story Vault, where the truth isn't always comfortable, but it's always real.